Paulo Costa pulls out of his bout against Khamzat Chimaev. Now on short notice, former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman takes his place. The fight will take place at UFC 294 in Abu Dhabi, and the winner of this fight will fight for the middleweight title against champion Sean Strickland. Hello fighters. This is World of MMA channel. In today's video I'm going to tell you 5 reasons why Khamzat Chimaev will destroy Kamaru Usman. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and give me a like. Let's go! The first and perhaps most obvious aspect is age. Khamzat Chimaev, who was born in October 1994, is younger than Kamaru Usman, who was born in May 1987. This means that at the time of the fight, Chimaev will be 29 years old, while Usman will be 36 years old. A difference of 7 years may seem insignificant, but in the world of sports, it's a huge distance. The first thing that comes to mind when discussing youth is physical stamina. Chimaev, at his age of 29, likely has outstanding physical endurance. His body is still at the peak of its physical abilities, and that could give him an advantage in long-term fights. In MMA, especially in the higher divisions where fights last for 5 rounds of 5 minutes each, physical endurance is of utmost importance. Fighters have to be prepared for a continuous workload, and youth promotes better adaptation to these conditions. Another aspect is speed. Young fighters often have better speed and reaction times. They move faster around the cage, have better reflexes, and can react faster to their opponent's actions. This can make them more effective both in the stand-up and on the ground. Kamaru Usman is known for his wrestling skills, and Chimaev's youth can help him not only defend against Usman's attempts, but also create his own opportunities to attack. The next aspect is recovery ability. Being young helps the body recover faster from training and fights. This is important because the MMA world is often filled with intense fights and heavy training. Fighters must be ready to recover and return to the gym in a short period of time. Chimaev, due to his youth, may have an advantage in this aspect over Usman, and this could be critical in the long run. Mental freshness also plays an important role. Young fighters often have less noise in their heads, which can help them focus better during a fight. They are more motivated, enthusiastic, and carry less baggage from past fights. This can make them more capable of making decisions during combat and adapting to variable circumstances. To fully understand the significance of the universality of styles in martial arts and its applicability to a possible encounter between Chimaev and Usman, let's take a closer look at what exactly this concept means. Firstly, fighters who possess versatility of styles can easily switch between different forms of fighting, such as stand-up and grappling, depending on the current situation in the fight. This means that they can adapt to their opponent's strengths while exploiting their weaknesses. In Chimaev's case, his ability to switch between stand-up and ground techniques makes him a threatening opponent. Stand-up wrestling could present a real test for Kamaru Usman, who is mostly known for his wrestling. If Chimaev can utilize his strikes effectively and control the distance, it could pose a challenge for Usman. He can use his long arms and quick movements to land accurate punches and thus reduce Usman's ability to scramble. On the other hand, if the bout goes to the ground, Chimaev also has impressive ground skills. His ability to dominate on the ground and land crushing punches in the parterre makes him a dangerous fighter in close quarters. His ability to switch between stand-up and ground and pound puts added pressure on Usman, who may be unprepared for such versatility. A key aspect of the style's versatility is also the ability to read the opponent and adapt to his actions in real time. This requires outstanding analytical and reaction skills. If Chimaev can adequately read Usman and adapt to his movements, he will be able to react to the situation and find vulnerable moments in the champion's actions. In the world of sports and martial arts, physical fitness and characterization play an important role, and Chimaev has a number of traits that could help him meet the champion. Let's look at these physical advantages in more detail: hand size and length. Khamzat Chimaev is a fairly large and long-armed fighter. His physical characteristics allow him to control the distance in a fight. Due to his long arm length, He can attack from afar and avoid close contact, which can be important given Usman's wrestling style, strength, and stamina. Chimaev is known for his physical strength and endurance. This can help him in clinching and holding positions, as well as executing punches with maximum power. Usman will have a harder time dealing with a fighter who possesses these physical attributes. Vertical growth. Successful stand-up attacks are often related to a fighter's height. Chimaev has an advantage in this regard due to his height. He can use this advantage to attack from the top and avoid his own strikes in return, wrestling and grappling. His physical characteristics can also be useful in wrestling and grappling. The strength and size of his hands can help in holding his opponent and performing techniques on the ground. This is especially important considering Usman is known for his wrestling skills, speed, and reaction. At first glance, big fighters may seem slow, but Chimaev is not only strong, but fast. He can get out of dangerous situations, maneuver in the stand-up, and react quickly to his opponent's movements. This allows him to maintain a speed advantage, which could prove critical against the champion. However, it's worth noting that physical characteristics alone do not ensure victory in a fight. Usman is a champion with tremendous experience and skill. He also has impressive physical attributes, and a fight against him is always a difficult test. Chimaev will have to use his physical advantages wisely and in combination with good strategy. Let's take a look at how the surprise factor could be an important aspect in the Chimaev vs. Usman fight. Style unknowns. Kamaru Usman has a wealth of experience in the UFC and many fights at the top level. His style and strategy are well known, and most of his opponents are familiar with these aspects of his fighting game. Chimaev, being new to the organization, may come in with a completely different style and approach that Usman has not encountered before. This can cause misunderstandings and difficulty for the champion in adapting to a new opponent, unexpected techniques and combinations. Chimaev can use his creativity in training and fighting to develop unconventional techniques and combinations that will be difficult for Usman to predict. This could include unexpected strikes, ground attacks, or other elements that could confuse the champion. Psychological effect. The surprise factor can also put psychological pressure on the opponent. Usman, expecting to fight a better-known and more predictable fighter, may find himself in a situation where he is not sure what to expect from Chimaev. This can affect his confidence and emotional state during the fight. Training innovation. Chimaev and his team may utilize innovations in training techniques to improve their skills and physical fitness. For example, he can implement new recovery methods or data analysis techniques to optimize his training. This will allow him to be in better shape and ready to fight Usman. Motivation and passion. As a relatively young fighter, Chimaev may have tremendous motivation and passion to win. He wants to confirm his status as a great fighter and conquer the top of the UFC. This motivation could be an additional source of strength in the fight and help him fight to the end. Psychology plays a huge role in the martial arts world, and the ability to control your emotions and influence your opponent's psychological state can be a decisive factor in a fight. Let's take a look at how the psychological factor can be important in the fight between Chimaev and Usman. Confidence and motivation. Chimaev, as a young and ambitious fighter, can possess tremendous confidence and motivation. He comes into the fight with a thirst to prove to himself and the world that he is capable of defeating even a champion. This confidence can give him an extra edge in his self-esteem and mindset for the fight. Psychological pressure. Chimaev may use psychological pressure tactics on Usman. This could include pre-fight provocations, verbal antics at press conferences, or even showing his confidence on social media. If Chimaev can make Usman feel insecure or annoyed, it could affect the champion's psychological state. Use of psychological tricks. In the world of martial arts, psychological tricks and manipulation are also an important part of strategy. Chimaev may use various tactics such as deception, changing the pace of the fight, or creating false expectations in his opponent. This can make his actions less predictable and cause confusion for Usman. Ability to handle pressure. An important aspect in top-level fights is the ability to handle pressure. Usman, as champion, often finds himself in situations where there are huge expectations placed on him. Chimaev can use this to create extra pressure on his opponent and test his ability to stay calm and focused in the fight. Fan support and national pride. As a fighter from Arab Emirates, Chimaev can rely on the support of his countrymen and national pride. This can be an additional source of motivation and emotional support, which is important in a long and difficult fight. In conclusion, Khamzat Chimaev can beat Kamaru Usman due to versatility of styles, physical data, youth and ambition, surprise factor and psychological pressure. However, Kamaru Usman is an experienced champion, and winning always depends on a lot of factors including preparation and skill. What do you friends think? Will Khamzat be able to defeat Usman? Write your opinions in the comments.